Welcome to our channel. If you love the dynamic tension between bosses and employees in Turkish dramas, you're in for a treat. In this video, we're counting down the top 15 boss-employee Turkish series, all with English subtitles, perfect for your 2024 binge-watching list. Get ready for power plays, romance, and drama like you've never seen before. Let's dive in.
She loves, she doesn't. This series centers around Deniz and Yiğit, who were close friends until Yiğit moves to America. Yiğit, an ugly-looking child in his youth, transforms into a handsome man when he grows up. Conversely, Deniz, a beautiful girl in her younger years, becomes less attractive as an adult. One day, Yiğit returns from America and reunites with his childhood sweetheart, Deniz. What will happen next? Watch this series to find out. She Loves, She Doesn't delivers a roller coaster of emotions with its comedic and dramatic twists, anchored by compelling character arcs. While some viewers may find it overly drawn out, the well-balanced characters, heartfelt moments, and stellar performances make it a captivating watch. Overall, it's a rom-com gem that leaves a lasting impression. Love, Logic, Revenge follows Ezra, who marries Ozan for financial stability. However, she faces hardship when he quits his job to pursue his dreams. Exhausted and heartbroken, Ezra gets a divorce after suffering a miscarriage. Years later, she discovers Ozan has become a successful CEO, while she struggles without recognition for her sacrifices. Ezra plots revenge by making Ozan fall in love with her again. She becomes an intern at his company. As Ezra and Ozan reconnect, complications arise when Ozan's friend, Chin, enters the picture. Will Ezra's revenge plan succeed? Will love be rekindled between Ezra and Ozan? Watch this series to find out. Series The Love of My Life. The Love of My Life follows a woman turning 30 who still doesn't have a man in her life. She watches as her friends get married, feeling left behind. Hayat works in an advertising company. Suddenly, she decides to set her sights on her boss, Demir. Demir is the dream of every girl. Handsome and rich, can Hayat make Demir fall in love with her? Watch this series to find out. However, despite some cliches, this is a sweet rom-com. On the other hand, it can be boring at times due to overacting and cliched storylines. While some character interactions lack chemistry, the series boasts good actors and is ultimately a light and enjoyable watch. Series Firefly. Barris is a very successful, attractive man, though distanced from love. Divorce lawyer who feels there is nothing left to surprise him in life anymore. Asli is a beautiful young girl who is full of life, intelligent and entertaining, but has to work as a taxi driver to help her family. Her family and close friends call her Firefly. When Asli and Barris cross paths with each other, their lives will change completely. Series Love Trap. Kerem, Kaglar Ertuğrul, is the handsome and flirtatious son of the Yiğiter family, one of the very old textiles of Istanbul. With his creative intelligence, he has become the leader of the industry, with a startup work of the family company that is about to fall into time. He did, but his father couldn't have been a man in Muhsin's eyes. Because Kerem is the one who eats and drinks, travels, and lives with the poetry of getting honey from every flower. Ayşe Yılmaz, Burcu Özberk, who works as a worker in the atelier of the Kerems, is a bright, beautiful, and heart-filled girl who lives a colorless, unpleasant life under the control of two older brothers, one of which is a despot, and the other. Her only hope is to marry Berk, Yılmaz Kunt, who has been a lover for some time, and leave this life behind. However, when her brothers want to marry her, Sabri, Umukan Utabay, the rich child of the neighborhood, Ayşe tells Berk that they should get married soon. Berk will disappear. In her own case, a pure and good-hearted neighborhood girl, both her family and her love life on the impact of the coup, Ayşe decides to do something for herself for the first time in her life. Kerem, the biggest factor in making this decision, is also unaware that he will be the victim of Ayşe. Ayşe is the founder of the game by making the move that will connect her to the life of Kerem and her lifetime. But this game will go around her feet in a way that neither of them can survive. Full Moon, starring Can Yaman and Özge Gürel. Nazlı is a beautiful, simple girl who excels at cooking and dreams of opening her own restaurant in the future. However, lacking the means to do so, she is offered a job as a personal chef for a wealthy businessman. When she was hired, a set of rules was given to her that she must not break. But Nazlı is not used to living within strict boundaries. She believes that her employer is a strict, grumpy old man, but it turns out to be different. The wealthy, successful man is handsome, young, and lonely, accustomed to living by clear rules. However, after Nazlı bursts into his life, everything changes. Love Understands No Words. Starring Hande Erçel and Burak Deniz. This beautiful Turkish TV series unfolds a romantic and highly entertaining story of love's blossoming. It's a captivating tale of a girl named Hayat, who, along with her two friends, decides to change her life and move from the small town of Giresun to Istanbul. Upon arriving in Istanbul, Hayat takes a job at a company, a position she desperately needs. Otherwise, her mother will demand her return home. It is in this twist of fate that Hayat meets Murat, the sole heir to the textile empire of the Sarsılmaz family. Murat, a well-known businessman in Istanbul, is persistent and always achieves his goals. Every girl in the city dreams of becoming his chosen one. The encounter between the two young people begins with a terrible argument, but gradually, their relationship transforms into a deep and pure love. This meeting changes much in the girl's life, and in one day, everything is turned upside down. Love for Rent. Starring Barış Arduç and Elçin Sangu, who twice rejected the role of Defne in the series. Young and charming Ömer succeeds in the fashion business. For the sake of family benefits, relatives want to marry him to a beautiful girl who has just returned from America with an education, but is only focused on shining in high society. Ömer is not thrilled about this plan. By chance, he meets a young girl, Defne, a waitress in a cafe, whose family is in a difficult situation due to her brother. To get rid of the persistent fiancé, he kisses Defne in front of his aunt. The aunt decides to take advantage of this situation and bribes Defne to achieve her goal of marrying her nephew. My Sweet Lie is a heartwarming Turkish drama with an engaging story and lovable characters. Highly recommended for its family-friendly and entertaining nature, it's a story about Nejat, a successful businessman raising his daughter Kara after his wife leaves them. He's been sending fake letters to Kara, claiming they're from her mother working on social projects in Africa. As Kara's 6th birthday approaches, she believes her mom is coming back. This creates a dilemma for Nejat. Meanwhile, Suna, a young woman with dreams of renovating her family's coffee house, encounters Nejat while trying to save her own business. Misunderstandings arise, and Suna ends up at Nejat's home. Kara mistakes Suna for her mom, leading to a complex situation where Nejat and Suna must decide what to do next. Recipe for Love series. The main character of the series is a young man named Ferhat, whose only passion in life has always been cooking. He works in a small restaurant and dedicates almost all his time to his beloved craft. Guests love to visit this place because Ferhat always delights them with simple but very tasty dishes of traditional cuisine. He was once one of the best chefs in a French restaurant. Soon, fate will remind Ferhat of those times. Ferhat's ordinary life begins to turn upside down after fate brings him together with a charming girl named Naz. She was the owner of a French cuisine restaurant, and she urgently needs a professional chef. The girl learns that Ferhat is excellent at this, and then she offers him to work together with her. The young man agrees without much thought, but he couldn't even imagine how strongly this decision would affect his future. If you have already seen this series, please write a review in the comments. The series Summer Song is a romantic comedy that is the premiere of the summer season. The project was initially announced under the title Rose and Thorns, but was later renamed Summer Song. The main character is named Gül. She is a romantic girl, but she is used to achieving her goals in life on her own. Soon, Gül will find herself at the center of romantic adventures as she attracts the attention of two worthy young men at the same time. Murat and Kenan are close friends from childhood. The young men are ambitious, like many others their age, and dream of conquering the heights of show business. However, it is no secret that in order to succeed in show business, besides talent and abilities, other important qualities are also needed, such as luck. Somehow, the paths of the young men and Gül will cross. Murat immediately falls in love with Gül, but on the other hand, Kenan is also not indifferent to the beautiful new acquaintance. Thus, a love triangle is formed, And now, the choice is up to Gul. Number 5. Love Out of Spite. Starring Ken Yaman and Achelya Topologlu. The life of a young, stubborn girl named Daphne changes when she starts working at the company Aris Technology and meets the handsome but rude CEO Yalan. Daphne and Yalan have completely different personalities. They constantly argue and hate each other. The situation becomes even more complicated when Daphne's brother, the flirtatious Chinar, falls in love with Eshim, Yalan's sister. Trying to deal with their problems, Daphne and Yalan inadvertently find themselves growing closer. Series Love is in the Air. Ada Yıldız is a young, attractive girl who helps her aunt run a flower shop. She knows who is responsible for all her troubles. She has always excelled in her studies and dreamed of studying in Italy, and she gets a wonderful chance. However, at the last moment, the grant funding is cancelled and Ida drops out of school. Ida knows that the subsidy was revoked by the management of a major architectural and construction company, headed by Serkan Bolat, a young man who is handsome, wealthy, and business-savvy, but lacks emotional warmth. He lives his life without knowing that the wrong decision of his financier deprived poor Ida of her future. But this is nothing, because he will soon learn about it in detail, and Ida will personally inform him. Facing her at university, Serkan receives a good dose of criticism and accusations from this girl, whose expectations were so rudely deceived. But that's not all. Eda doesn't limit herself to verbal sparring. She seizes the moment and proves to Serkan that she is capable of much. A day spent literally hand in hand shows the arrogant Serkan how boundless the influence of her feminine charm can be. Although both still treat each other with disdain, something like a small spark has already flashed between them. They don't want to see each other anymore, but fate thinks otherwise. Now everyone is talking about Serkan's new passion seen with him. The situation is ambiguous. Serkan is a public figure, a owner of million-dollar assets, and a sought-after groom who has just broken up with his previous love. Suddenly, a spirited, though beautiful girl appears out of nowhere. Who is she, and where did she come from? Lying once, Serkan is forced to resort to a global deception. He proposes a contract to Eda. She pretends to be his girlfriend for exactly 2 months, the time remaining until Serkan's ex-girlfriend's wedding. In return, he pays for her education. Initially, Ada refuses, but she is later forced to agree. This is one of Kerem's latest works, which has become very popular with viewers. Early Bird, starring Can Yaman and Demet Özdemir. Sanem is a cheerful and lively girl who wakes up early every morning to open the shop instead of her sick father, earning her the nickname Early Bird. The girl is forced to look for a good job, or else she will be married off to her childhood friend. Eventually, Sanem lands a job at a publishing house where her sister works, and this is where all her adventures begin.
Batu Unu, Luck Game. Batu Unu is a Turkish series that delves into the complexities of love and destiny. The story revolves around Ada, a 20-year-old woman who has a limited understanding of what true love is. Determined to avoid the tragic fate of the women in her family, who were abandoned by their first loves and faced painful consequences, Ada is set on finding eternal happiness by marrying her first love. However, all her beliefs are shattered when she is cruelly abandoned by Rüzgar, her supposed first love and husband of convenience, on the celebration of their 3rd wedding anniversary. Ada and Rüzgar married with the goal of obtaining a residence permit, but what seemed like a practical solution turned into a deep wound in her heart. Determined to win back her supposed first love, Ada embarks on a painful journey of disappointment and self-discovery. However, fate has a surprise in store for her when she crosses paths with Bora, a workaholic who appears to be emotionally distant and keeps the doors to his heart firmly closed. As Ada and Bora grow closer, they both begin to realize that their feelings gradually shift from hate to love. The series explores the complexity of human emotions and how fate can surprise us and change our lives in unexpected ways.
We look forward to your comments. Are you interested in this series, and will you be watching it? Also, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. We'll have many more exciting videos coming up. See you soon!